These types of women will cheat on you. So get this, some women, no matter how perfect they seem, are predisposed to cheat. And mostly men don't even see it coming. Today I'm going to tell you exactly what types of women are more likely to cheat on you and how you can spot them from a distance. And trust me, what I'm going to say is going to hit hard because it's not the ones that you've always expected or that are easy to kind of tell. Let's get into it. Jessica OS here, welcome to the channel. So the first type of woman is who I call the thrill seeker. These particular women are hard to miss, but easy to misinterpret. She's the kind of woman who's always chasing the next big thing, the next experience, the next high, the next new excitement. I mean, think about it. Her weekends are filled with spontaneous road trips, wild nights out, and doing things just for the rush of it, right? Sounds fun, sure, at first. But here's where it gets tricky. This constant need for adrenaline and new experiences doesn't just stop at her activities. It can bleed into her relationships as well. Let me tell you, if she gets bored easily, that excitement that she had for you at the start, it might fade just as fast. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing bad about someone who loves adventure, but when it feels like she's chasing one high after the other, and you notice that she struggles to stick around when things settle into routine, that's when you need to start paying attention. The thrill seeker needs to constantly feel alive, and unfortunately, once the excitement of the new relationship fizzles, so does her interest. And that's when she starts looking for the next new thing, the next person to give her that rush. It's not that she's consciously trying to hurt you. For the thrill seeker, it's not about loyalty. It's the constant need she has for stimulation. And once the newness of your relationship wears off, she might seek out something or someone else to fill that void. So how do you spot this kind of woman before you go in too deep? Dig into her past relationships and her attitude towards commitment if you can. Does she always talk about her exes like they were just another pit stop of her adventure? Does she crave constant excitement and get restless when things slow down? Does she move quickly from one thing to the next, rarely staying put for too long? Watch how she reacts when things settle into a routine. If she seems to lose interest as soon as the honeymoon phase ends, that's a red flag. Let's be real, guys. When someone is always chasing the next high, they won't hesitate to cheat if it gives them that rush that they're looking for. The tough part about thrill seekers is they seem like the perfect partner at first. They're fun, they're spontaneous, full of energy. I mean, who wouldn't be attracted to that? But it's all surface level excitement. The moment they start to feel tied down or the novelty wears off, they're out. And worse, they'll often tell you that you're the one who's not exciting enough anymore. This is how they rationalize their behavior, making it seem like you're the problem, not their insatiable need for a thrill. The second type of woman is the overly charming social butterfly. Now, this is the woman who seems like a dream at first. You know, she's bubbly, she's outgoing, the life of the party, and can charm just about anyone in the room. Things, however, get complicated when you realize that her charm doesn't just work on you, it works on everyone. And if you're not careful, this can lead to problems that you didn't see coming. Look, I get it. There's something irresistible about a woman who can walk into any room and instantly become the center of attention, right? I mean, she's confident, she knows how to make people feel special, and you feel lucky to be that guy on her arm. But here's the harsh truth, guys. If she thrives on that attention, if she needs that external validation from others to feel good about herself, you're dealing with a ticking time bomb. This woman who's a social butterfly knows how to make you feel like the most important guy in the room. I mean, she'll look into your eyes, she'll laugh at your jokes, give you that feeling that you're the only one who matters. But here's the catch. She's doing that with everyone else. It's part of her nature, and it's what makes her so damn attractive. In the beginning, it feels like you've won some kind of jackpot, right? This girl who could have anyone chose you. But slowly you start to notice things. She's always got her phone buzzing with notifications. She's constantly texting other people, and it's not just her female friends. When you go out, she's just as friendly with the guy behind the bar, the waiter, or even your own friends. That charm, it's a double-edged sword. At first, you might brush it off thinking she's being friendly, you'll tell yourself. But if her need for attention goes beyond just being social, it's more like a craving for validation from men, and you've got a problem on your hands. Because here's the thing, if she's not getting the attention from you for a moment, she won't hesitate to get it from another guy. If she's used to getting attention from multiple sources, of friends, co-workers, even strangers, then it won't be a big leap for her to entertain the idea of something more when you're not giving her the same energy that she craves. You can't be the only source of her validation, and that's where that problem begins. Guys, cheating doesn't always start with a physical act. For the social butterfly, it often begins with an emotional affair. It's the seemingly innocent conversations, the late night texts, the flirty banter with her male friends, and she'll justify it by saying things like, oh, we're just talking, or he's just a friend. But we all know where this can lead. If she's spending more time texting or hanging out with these friends than she is with you, it's a red flag. And let me be clear, guys. Emotional cheating is cheating. When she's getting emotionally involved with someone else, sharing intimate thoughts and feelings and secrets that should be reserved for you, it's only a matter of time before she cheats physically. So how do you spot this type of woman before it's too late? Well, pay attention to how she interacts with other men, even in casual settings. Is she a little too flirty? Does she go out of her way to make small talk or bat her eyelashes at guys that she just met? Does she thrive in social environments, especially where there are a lot of men? And most importantly, how does she react when you bring it up? If she gets defensive or brushes it off, telling you it's no big deal, that's a bad sign. Don't let yourself be gaslit into thinking that you're overreacting. If her need for validation from others is so strong that she can't help but flirt or engage with other men, you've got a social butterfly on your hands. Trust me, she'll fly into someone else's arms if you're not giving her the constant attention that she needs. So stay sharp. Don't get played by the woman who seems like everyone's best friend, because sometimes she's not just being friendly, she might be keeping her options open. Woman number 3 is the too independent type. You ready for this? Now, don't get me wrong. Independence is an attractive trait, right? I'm sure you love a woman who's got her life together, her own career, doesn't need anyone to take care of her. But things can go sideways. The woman who's too independent can be a whole different story. And fellas, I'm telling you, she can be dangerous in ways that you may not see coming. This type is the kind of woman who's always talking about how she values her space, doesn't want labels, and how she likes to keep things casual. At first, it sounds like modern, maybe even refreshing, until you realize that the reason she keeps things at arm's length isn't because she's trying to protect her independence, is because she's keeping her options open. Here's the thing, guys. Being independent is a great quality, but when she's too independent to a point where she's building walls instead of bridges, that's where you should start worrying. The too independent type isn't just about having her own life. It's about making sure you never fully get into it. She keeps you at a distance. There's always a part of her that you can't touch, no matter how hard you try. And that's exactly how she likes it. Why? Because when you're never fully inside her world, it's easier for her to step outside of yours. She's created the perfect setup. One where you're close enough to feel like you're in a relationship, but far enough that she doesn't owe you anything. And this, my friends, is where things get shady. When she keeps that much distance between you two, it's not just emotional, it's also physical. She's the type who will easily slip away, whether that's emotionally distancing herself from you or worse, cheating, because she was never fully committed to you in the first place. In her mind, she's not even cheating. She'll rationalize it by saying, well, we never defined our relationship, or I never said I was exclusive. Meanwhile, you've been investing time, emotions, money, effort, thinking that you're building something real. And she's out there playing the field without ever telling you. This type is all about maintaining control. She controls the pace of the relationship, how close you can get, how much she lets you in. And by doing that, she gives herself an escape route. So if things start to get too intense, or if she feels boxed in, she'll bounce. And if she cheats, well, in her mind, she's justified because, hey, we were never official. You see, this woman is all about protecting herself. But that self-protection also means she won't hesitate to protect her freedom at the cost of your feelings. If she feels like you're cramping her style, she'll dip out of the relationship, sometimes even before you know it's over. So how do you tell if you're dealing with this type of woman? Just watch for the signs. She's super secretive about her life. Does she keep you on the outside of her personal world? Never really introduces you to friends and family? Does she avoid serious conversations about the future, brushing off comments about commitment, or just keeping things really vague? Pay attention to how often she also disappears without any explanation. If she's constantly busy, can't seem to find time for you, or disappears for days without any proper explanation, it's a red flag. She's keeping her life separate from yours, and in some cases, this can mean that she's seeing other people or keeping her options wide open. Trust me, guys, when a woman is constantly needing space, what she's really telling you is that she doesn't want to be held accountable. She doesn't want the commitment that comes with being in a relationship with you, because that will limit her freedom to do what she wants and possibly who she wants. Woman number 4, always the victim type of woman. Now, this next type is subtle, and that's exactly what makes her so dangerous. Always the victim type. At first glance, she seems vulnerable, maybe even sweet. You feel this need to protect her because every story she tells you is about the same thing, someone hurt her, someone did her wrong, someone let her down. And trust me, it's easy to fall for that trap. You start thinking, oh, I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna treat her better than all the other guys she's ever met. But no matter what you do, no matter how perfect you try to be, you'll never be good enough for her. Why? Because in her world, she's always the victim. And you know what that means? It means she never takes responsibility for her own actions, including if she ever cheats on you. Now, this woman will cheat on you, and when she does, it will somehow be your fault. In her mind, she's never to blame for anything. So if she strays, she'll have a long list of reasons why you pushed her into someone else's arms. And here's the scary part. She'll actually believe it. Always the victim type of woman has mastered the art of justification. She's been wronged by every guy before you, and at least that's how she'll tell it. And if things don't go perfectly in your relationship, if you slip up even once, she's going to flip the script and make you the bad guy. Maybe you missed a date. Maybe you didn't read her text fast enough. Or maybe you didn't listen to her vent about, work for the 100th time. Whatever it is, she'll use it as an excuse to go out and cheat. And when you find out, her defense will sound something like this: oh, you weren't paying attention to me, or I felt neglected. It's like she's got a get out of jail free card, and she'll play it every single time. She'll make you question yourself, your actions, and your role in her relationship. And before you know it, she's turned the table so effectively that you're the one apologizing, even though she's the one who cheated. Fellas, don't fall for this. If she's constantly blaming others for her problems and never taking responsibility for her own actions, she's setting up a perfect scenario where she can cheat and come out looking like the victim. So how do you know you're dealing with this type of woman? Pay attention to how she talks about her past relationships. Does she always blame her exes for everything that went wrong? Is it always the same story about how he cheated, he wasn't emotionally available, or he just didn't get her? If every guy she's been with is the villain in her story, you should start asking yourself why that is true. Sure, maybe she's been hurt before, but if she's never once acknowledged her own role in why the breakup happened, it's a big red flag. And guys, here's where it gets tricky, because she'll seem so convincing. You'll find yourself starting to believe that maybe you did do something wrong and that maybe it's your fault. But don't let her manipulation cloud your judgment. If she's never accountable for anything, you'll never get a fair chance to resolve issues in a healthy way. You'll need to be on high alert. Don't let yourself get caught in this kind of manipulation. If she can never take responsibility of her own actions, you can bet that when things go wrong, she'll be quick to blame you, even if she's the one who's been unfaithful. So protect yourself and don't fall for the sob story. And the final lady I want to talk about today is the lady I call the revenge type. So this is the most dangerous type, if you ask me. Now, this type of woman doesn't start off as a cheater. In fact, in the beginning, she might be the most loyal, most committed woman you've ever met. And here's the thing, if she feels wronged even slightly, she won't just let it go. She's not going to have a fight and move on. No, she's going to get even. And her weapon of choice, stepping out on you. Now, this type is brutal because it's not about boredom or emotional unavailability. It's about payback. If you cross her Even unintentionally, she's going to find a way to make you hurt the same way she feels that you hurt her. Maybe you forgot an anniversary, maybe you didn't give her enough attention during a tough week, or maybe you were just too friendly with another woman. Whatever the case, in her mind, she needs to balance the scale. The thing is, you might not even realize that you've done something wrong, but to her, it's already a reason to seek revenge. So why does this kind of woman cheat? It's simple: to hurt you. For her, it's not about attraction. It's not about finding someone new. It's about making you feel the pain that she felt. She sees infidelity as the ultimate payback, the one thing that she can do that will cut deep and leave you reeling. She doesn't care about the consequences. She doesn't care if the relationship crumbles after, because once she's in revenge mode, her goal is to inflict maximum damage. In her mind, it's justified because you deserve it. Whether the issue is real or it's imagined, she's convinced herself that you're the one who caused her to stray. And this is what makes her dangerous, because unlike other types who cheat because of emotional needs or thrill seeking, the revenge cheater cheats with one purpose in mind, and it's to hurt you as much as possible. So how do you spot such a woman? I think first you need to pay attention to how she handles conflict. Is she the type who holds grudges? Does she bring up old arguments even after you thought they were resolved? Does she have a habit of punishing you emotionally when she feels that, you've wronged her by giving you the silent treatment or withholding affection? Is she constantly seeking to balance the scales in a relationship? I mean, these are all things you should look out for. And here's the thing. This type of woman might not even tell you she's upset right away. She'll sit on her anger, let it fester, and by the time you realize she's upset, she's already made up her mind to get back at you. It's not always about catching you in a big mistake either. Sometimes it's the little things, they add up in her mind. A comment you made, a time you didn't prioritize her, or an imagined slight. And when she feels like she's reached her breaking point, her first move is to strike where it hurts you most. If she's quick to remind you of times when you've messed up, that's a huge red flag. Revenge cheaters operate on resentment. And once that resentment starts to build up, cheating will become her way of settling the score. Now, this is the most dangerous type of woman because her hurt or her cheating is calculated, right? And it's planned. If she actually wants you to find out. In fact, she'll probably make sure you find out, because the whole point of the revenge is so that you can feel that pain, right? Stay smart, guys. Don't let her use cheating as a weapon to get back at you. And remember, if she's the type to seek revenge, there's no limit to how far she can go. Well, there you have it. I'm not saying every woman is going to cheat, but if you recognize some of these traits in the woman that you're seeing, please don't ignore them. Trust your gut and take action before it's too late. Cheating doesn't come out of nowhere. It's a pattern. And if you're seeing that pattern early on, it's time to make some tough choices.